Hello, Year 5. Today I'm going to talk to you about your writing for week 2 of your home learning. And this week, your task is to create a set of instructions. Now, your task for topic is to create a pirate treasure map. And you ought to have done this activity before you have a go at writing your instructions, because your instructions are going to tell us how to do that. However, if you have not completed your topic yet, don't worry. You can write a set of instructions about any activity that you would like to choose. So before we begin, I would like you to have a look at this video. Now, the link is just below. And if you click on the link, if you type the link into Google and have a look at the video will tell you a bit more information about how to write instructions. If you pause the video now, have a look at that, and then come back to this video once you have watched it. So in your pack, your success criteria for this week is to use clear and concise language, to use headings, subheadings, and bullet points. And you might want to use numbers as well, and I'll show you how. Use a diagram or a picture and caption, and use imperative bossy verbs. For example, draw the outline or mark the correct area. So I'm just going to talk to you about an example of an instruction text. I'm going to talk you through some of the key features. So on your screen, you should be able to see this instruction text that I'm looking at now about how to catch a dragon. And I know straight away this instruction text is about catching a dragon because there's a title right at the top of the instruction text which tells me what it's about. Underneath the title, there's a short introduction. Now, this is quite nice to include in your instructions because it gives kind of a brief overview as to what you're going to be talking about. So it says, when a dragon is on the loose in your kingdom, you can be left in a bit of a sticky wicket. Follow these set of instructions and you will never have to fear a dragon again. Underneath that introduction, you will see that there's a subheading, what you will need. Now, some instructions do include this, especially if you're making something. And I know that it's going to tell me what I'll need because there's that subheading there to organize our information. And underneath that subheading, you've got a bullet point list of things that you will need. Each bullet point contains a new resource or a new piece of equipment that you will need. So it's really clear for the reader what they need to gather before they start carrying out your instructions. Underneath what you will need, there's another subheading that says instructions. Now, this could say instructions or it could say method, but it's going to tell us that the instructions are to follow. You can see straight away, and I mentioned this in your success criteria where it says titles, subheadings, and bullet points, that each of the instructions are numbered. So as well as starting each new instruction on a new line, they're also numbered so we know which order to follow them in. So we're going to take a look at some of the instructions and I'm going to highlight some of the key features that I want you to focus on in your instructions. So number 1 says, first, put on your fireproof armor. So not only does that instruction have a number to tell us that's the first thing we need to do, we've also got a time conjunction there. First, it's telling us when to do it. They're really useful to us because it helps us to sequence the events. The author of this instruction text has also used specific vocabulary, fireproof armor. So it's not just saying any armor. It's really important to be specific in what you would like your reader to do so that they can follow your instructions exactly. Looking at the next instruction, it's numbered, so we know we need to do that second. And also we've got another time conjunction, next. So it's telling us that after the first thing, we need to then go on and do the next thing. Next, approach the dragon's lair cautiously. Now, approach the dragon's lair cautiously. This is another lovely instruction. We're using these imperative verbs, approach, so you're telling the reader what to do. You're not asking them, you're instructing them. And it's also got an adverb there. So the word cautiously is telling us how to carry out that instruction. Adverbs aren't on your success criteria, but if you want to challenge yourself, they're a really useful device because it tells the reader how to carry out the instruction. For example, if you were writing an instruction on how to draw your axes for your treasure map, you might say, draw your axes precisely, maybe. So draw is your imperative verb and precisely would be your adverb. And it's important that the reader of your instructions does draw the axes precisely so that you can create a really accurate treasure map. Have a look through the rest of the instructions, pause the video now and see if you can identify any of the other features of the success criteria. So we already spoke about that clear and concise language. When the author spoke about what armor to gather, they specified what piece of armor to use. We had a look at headings, subtitles, and bullet points. The bullet points being used for the list of resources that you may need. Also, I said numbers there. So the numbers could be used for your instruction part when you go in to actually explain what you need to do. Use a diagram, picture, and caption to explain further. Now, the How to Catch a Dragon didn't have any of this, but if you wanted to, you could maybe put in a little picture of a treasure map to show the reader what it needs to look like once they're finished. Use imperative verbs, bossy verbs. So we saw some bossy verbs in the How to Catch a Dragon, and I said that you could maybe write an instruction of draw your axes precisely. So that word draw would be your imperative verb because you're instructing the reader what to do. An extra challenge is to use adverbs to explain how the reader needs to follow those instructions. I'm going to leave you with a short quiz on instructions. If you click on the link that you can see on the slide there, or if you copy that link into Google, there's a short quiz there. It's a multiple choice quiz all about instructions. See how you get on, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of your work. Good luck.